Have you noticed that your focus has gotten worse and worse? And you tend to blame yourself instead of blame your device because you think, well, I have such horrible self-control. And you look at their little notification that says, oh, your screen time is down this week. And you think, oh, that's great, but also pretty sad. And do you notice that when you're watching a TV show now, whereas you used to just watch that one TV show, now you've got your computer open and you're online shopping, or now you've got your phone open on Instagram and you're just on infinite scroll? Or do you notice that when you do try to concentrate, you have a tough time having sustained focus on one activity, and you call it multitasking when you have all these different things you're doing at once, but what it really feels like is just complete fragmentation of your attention span. Because that's where we're all at. We're all in this same place, and it's not normal, and you did used to have better focus. And it's not something to blame yourself, because there are lots of factors at play. And for one, because it's actually now normalized socially with everyone glued to their phones, there's an expectation of it, and there's a constant people and advertisers are trying new ways to get people's attention, because they call it an attention span thing, and they always put the blame on the person. And the reason that is putting the blame on the person is that the people who created Instagram, Facebook, all of the social media moguls, they make a point to create something that has addictive qualities. Like, it's just like creating the Vegas casino that is designed to hook you and to make you addicted. And then they kind of step back and say, well, we're going to give you this really helpful information. This is your screen time. Okay, well, actually they could actually incentivize ways of getting you off the app, or they could even show you things in the algorithm that made you aware of how you don't need to be on infinite scroll. They don't even have to make infinite scroll as a part of the paradigm. They can do a lot of things, but what they actually do is they create an addictive thing, and then they gaslight and externalize the blame on the consumer, like, oh, you have no free will. And then they continue to carry on and take advantage of your addiction. And this is what people that make gambling casinos, they do. They have the same way of like, oh, you have no self-control. And sugar, alcohol, tobacco, all of those industries, it's always the person. And then vaccine manufacturers. It's like, oh, we have no legal liability, and it's your fault. Oh, you had a reaction? Not our fault. That's you. All of these places externalize blame. And it's very interesting to observe that, because it goes back to when religious people relied on original sin. It's that you are flawed, you are guilty of sins just by being a human, and we're just trying to help. But none of these entities are. They're actually they're taking advantage of your primal parts of your human nature and your limbic system and your serotonin, your dopamine. They take advantage of all these things they know about how your mind works and how addiction works, and create the hook. And then when you take the bait, they gaslight, and they do it very well. I mean, look at even those social media people who have like mindfulness trainings. And you'll notice that the people who run these companies always emphasize that their kids aren't allowed to have phones, aren't allowed this, or they have an hour a week. So it's very revealing. So your focus, that's the main takeaway here, is stop making it, it's always important to take responsibility and to internalize blame in some level, but just know that that's actually a tactic being used against you. And so that then you think of it's a way of isolating yourself to think, well, I'm the person that has no free self-control. What's wrong with me? No, our focus has been completely hijacked. And here are some ways I think that really help get our focus back. Doing a sustained single activity, and the main one I think of is walking or reading. And when you're doing this, that's all you do. So when you're walking, no music even, no music, just walking. Now sometimes allow yourself music, but just know that's already adding another thing, so then it is creating that fragmented focus. Whenever you do one thing for a sustained amount of time, that's how you actually rebuild your focus, because you truly are focused on one thing. That's why going on a walk and allowing your mind to wander actually is better than going on a walk with your phone, looking around, listening to music. Like sometimes you can be in a flow with music that's better, that you think is better than when you're walking alone. But it's really crucial to have those walks where all you're doing is walking with your mind completely just getting all its processing and absorbing out. So sustained activity that inspires flow state, reading. Reading is, you're just that. You're reading, you're in the world, you're again, you're in the consciousness of somebody else. So it's raising your empathy, it's getting you out of this kind of fragmented multitasking kind of thinking. And another thing that people all like to listen to Audible while they walk. And you're absorbing some things, and it's useful to listen to Audible when you're cleaning too. Like there's certain things that, yeah, it's great to listen, but just be aware that whenever your focus is fragmented between one or more activities, or more than one, not one or more, then it's almost like that's kind of stretching you too thin. Your focus muscle is losing out. Whereas if you commit to slowing down and doing one single activity for a sustained amount of time, you're getting back to the ability to get into flow state. So reading, great. Walking, great. Meditating and yoga. Now yoga is a moving meditation. You're only doing the yoga. So that means don't go to a yoga studio that has music, that has people who allow talking and carrying on. Go to a yoga studio that it's almost like you do those postures and you're in that zone and you're just doing those. You're looking in the mirror at yourself, doing those postures. You're not thinking about the people in the class. You're not thinking about the teacher. You're not listening to the music. It's a moving meditation. And meditation in general, there's so many studies on how it impacts the brain. Well, it's because it's a sustained sitting, allowing your mind to wander, bringing it back, learning presence and learning how to sit still and having an attention span to be present. And that's why it's difficult for people. That's why we need these kinds of activities that bring us back to flow state and focus. And I have been really committed to bringing back my focus because I wanted to get into a writing routine, and I used to have such an ease with doing that, and now there's just this kind of fragment, like where I'm looking at tabs, I'm looking at this, I'm thinking I need to do this, I need to read this or look at this for research, and it's all little things that are fake rationales for it's a way to procrastinate, yes, but it's also this kind of fragmented multitasking kind of way that just like I was talking about how we watch TV with a phone, it's that same kind of jittery mind that I didn't like. So I really make an effort to have all that, like phone locked in the lockbox, those tabs are out, just on the actual document I'm writing, working on. Because you can tell yourself that you need music or this or that, and but sometimes all of that gets in the way. Although, like when I'm bringing up music, I think that music can enhance flow state in certain situations. So I more so mean It's just noticing or taking notice of when you tell yourself you need X, Y, Z before you can do something. So you might say you need to eat, you might say you need caffeine, you need to clean that corner, you need to research, you need to read to get into the flow, you need to walk. You have all sorts of things, and they might be very based in truth, but you've got to realize when you're doing that, because it's a way of fragmenting your focus to not have a sustained single tracked activity. And so another thing I have been taking is I've been taking these Qualia, Qualia Mind. They're supposed to enhance your focus and help your brain. And so I don't notice anything really, I don't have a extreme epiphany that I realize there's something happening yet, but we'll see how it goes as I take them for more than just a week. So I hope this helps, and just know that the focus that you have dwindling isn't all your fault. It's a combination of factors, and you can get it back.